And this one day is just too long without water to do anything good. So I can't really figure out anything good. Also, I was looking at this while I was standing up here looking at the view. I guess that huge canyon was Alder Canyon. That's pretty cool. Well, I decided I'm kind of not really into this. My feet hurt a lot. I'm gonna head back down to Little Mutau, and I'll probably just go down somewhere in Little Mutau Canyon. I tried to send Tony a text to tell him my trip is only gonna be 4 days instead of 5. But even though I get bars up here, it doesn't seem to want to send the text. So. It's really hot in the sun. I started hiking down and it's like, oh my God, the sun is terrible. But in the shade, it's nice and it smells so good with all these flowers. I feel so lazy, but my heart's not really into this. So earlier this morning, I stood probably right there on that saddle and I looked over here and I said, I'm gonna have to go down into the creek and climb up here. And now I'm gonna have to do down in the creek and then climb up there again. Fun, fun, fun. Here's that difficult spot where I dropped my hat. But on the way back, it turns out I can just go completely around all of that. And there's a lot better water here than what I got next to the little campsite there. I kind of like the campsite with the dog grave better than the other one, but I don't remember if there's water there or not. So the motorcycle riders build these little log ramps to get over the logs. I'm really grateful for them for continuing to use this trail because nobody hikes it and it's barely open. I mean, it's not that bad, but the blowdowns are pretty bad. A lot better than Buck Creek Trail, that's for sure. So this is pretty fun. Am I here? I'm here. Home sweet home. It's nice here. This had an epic lean-to. I have a picture somewhere. So I'm glad I didn't go all the way to Seven Pines Camp. It was real nice here. It was warm and comfortable. And now I'm on my way to Sespe Hot Springs. So long descent out of the trees and into the, I don't know what you call that, desert, riparian, whatever. I Found this moth. Look how beautiful. He's alive, but he's like really sluggish. Well, I'm going to start climbing out of Little Mutau Creek here. So I'm saying goodbye to the canyon, my home for one night. Oh, I made it to the summit. It's a really steep climb. It's like the motorcycle just sort of goes straight up and kind of obliterates any switchbacks. I thought I saw a switchback at the bottom, but it almost looked more like a bear trail. I started this trip with like things I wanted to think about. Like I started the retirement process, and I guess the reason why I did it was because of that day a couple weeks ago. I mean, that day was like the culmination because there was other stuff that started before that, but this new co-worker, we had a meeting in the morning and he spent the meeting, I felt like he was insulting me personally throughout the entire meeting, making evidence-free, baseless claims about, quote, the culture in our team. And it really felt targeted towards me, and it really irritated me. And I tried to say things, you know, politely. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so then we had another meeting in the afternoon, and he continued, and he got worse about it, and I like got so angry. I just was yelling at him, and this was in front of a whole bunch of people. And I said, I don't know where you're getting these ideas about the culture around here. If you really think the culture is this awful, you know, prove it. Set up something for us to execute your wonderful plans, and let's do it. Why don't you show us? It's like, I don't have any problem with doing those things. It's just that we hired you to provide support to get things built that we can't do. So do it. I was so angry. And I also talked to the director, and he's like, oh, he means well. It's like, you know what? No, he doesn't mean well. I'm sorry. There are nicer ways to do this kind of stuff. And being evidence-free and targeting an individual who's different from everyone else in the group by both gender and age is not fair. I feel like my bosses appreciated me and seen my value, but not really my coworkers, and so I had to like fight off when I got a new coworker, and then I had another new coworker start, and it was like I was gonna have to fight the same battle all over again to not be pigeonholed as some old lady who doesn't know anything. And it's like I wanted out of that. Even though my supervisor has been very appreciative and supportive, even when I've told him that, you know, this feels like some kind of gender discrimination. I mean, he always listens and he supports me, but the university as a whole doesn't. It's almost as if they want it to be an interpersonal issue rather than a systemic issue. And so if you go to like the ombudsman or whatever, you know, then if they think that you have like a case or it sounds like gender discrimination to them, then they refer you to the EEOC office. But the EEOC office then will say, nah, that doesn't look like gender discrimination. And so it's like a pipeline. It's like this cover your ass thing that means that nothing will change. But I think getting out of that is just going to screw me over because I won't have very much money of my own. So I don't know, I've been keeping a pros and cons list, and I haven't like had them separated into columns, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot more cons to retiring than there's pros. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm just so sick of the fight. I don't know what to do. I just don't. Sorry to keep going on and on about this. So I guess how I feel is that people want me to go away. I'm in the way. And so it's like, you know, if they're gonna like put a pressure campaign on me, maybe it's just time to go. I don't know. That's kind of why I feel like I'm, you know, trying to leave, because that's what they want. And it's like, God, I don't know what to do. It puts me in a quandary. It's not good. I don't like it. Okay, here we go. Wow, there's my first look into the canyon that I'm gonna drop down into. It's socked in. So I was thinking, well, okay, if it's gonna be 70 up here, it'll be 80 down there. But no, I guess it's gonna be really cool, which will be nice for soaking in the hot spring. Yay. Well, I made it to the bottom, to the hot spring. There were some people camped right at the end of the Johnston Ridge Trail. So I turned up the canyon and I'm sitting under the palm tree. And there's a really nice pool, but it's like really blinding and hot in the sun, and then it's like freezing in the shade. So I'll see if I can get myself cold enough to want to go out there and sit in the water. The water's very hot. It's hotter than I can stand. I can usually stand it when hot springs are pretty hot, but this is painfully hot. You can see the steam coming off. The temperature of the water here is much better. So I sat in that pool, and now I'm just sort of lazing around in the half shade, half sun. I might camp here. Maybe over there where those cottonwoods are. There's a bunch of guys here. So I came over here to these cottonwood trees, and it's nice over here. It's a nice little campsite. And this creek is coming from a different canyon, so it's cold water. And then over here is the hot water. So I can have my own private spot away from those guys. I think I could sit right in there if I feel like getting back in. Well, it's 3:30. I think I got there around 11:30. So I spent the day just relaxing, soaking my feet. I got all the way in and got my hair wet and combed it, and felt real nice. Feels good to be clean, and it's a nice cool breeze, so I'm just gonna walk to Willits nice and mellow. Here comes a horse. Hello. Wow, it's a pretty horse. How do I get around these horses? I don't want to scare them. I guess they're not horses. I can get back to the trail without that other one coming after me. It's not that I think they're gonna hurt me. I just don't want to cause them any problems. They seem kind of scared. This one has a really long leash. Whoa, he's coming after me. Maybe he's friendly. Are you friendly? Maybe he's scared. Bye-bye. So yesterday I was at about 6,900, just about 7,000 feet. And in a couple minutes here, I'll be at my lowest point, which is 2,300 and something feet. So almost, what is that? Almost 5,000 feet of elevation loss since yesterday afternoon. I gotta tell you, it feels so good to rinse your socks out in hot water and then leave them out to dry in the sun. They feel so fluffy and so good. there is the most terrifying animal in the woods. Oh, he looks drunk. Oops. Something wrong with him. So I met this girl just almost to the turnoff to go to the Sespe Hot Springs, and she said she left her jacket by her green tent. I guess that's sort of green. I don't know, but there's her jacket, and so I told her I would put it inside her tent. Okay, so I put it in there. Boy, that jacket is heavy, and this tent must be the world's heaviest tent. Anyway, I'm always creeped out to camp here, so I'm glad that I met her, because now I know there's a nice person here, and I'm gonna see if I can find a nice spot that's kind of far enough away that it's not like I'm in her territory, but not so far away that if there's axe murderers or something here, she won't hear me scream. I could go right there. And then there was also a really nice one under the cottonwood trees. Probably better than that one. So I think this one will do. Kind of out in the open. But it's small. And it's late enough, I don't think too many people are going to be coming through. Look, I found a pair of Birkenstocks. I'm going to try them on. I decided to set up my tarp in case the fog rolls in, and then maybe I won't have a wet sleeping bag in the morning. I'm leaving Willits. I didn't visit the hot spring. The fog rolled in last night, but it wasn't wet and drippy fog. Everything was dry in the morning. So I didn't really need to set up my tarp, but I'm kind of glad I did because people kept walking by. And at least this way, it was harder to see me in there. I'm on my way to see the Harris Tunnel. And so right now I'm not carrying tons of water. This whole trip, I've been hauling around, oh my God, agonizingly heavy load of water. And so that once again, if I can get through from Harris Tunnel up to Ladybug, I don't know if there's water up there. And so I'm gonna fill up my water before I start and haul up a big old pile of water. And if I can't get up there, then I will dump out the water and head back to the Sespe. So yeah, this has not been a very ultralight trip, having to carry around like 4 liters of water all the time. But